In today's class, we are going to talk about algebraic multiplication and division. Now, let's start by defining what's meant by algebraic.
Algebraic refers to anything related to algebra, which is a branch of mathematics dealing with symbols and the rules for manipulating those symbols. There are various rules such as PEDMAS, we have BODMAS. We are going to look at how we can make use of these rules. You understand? Okay?
Let's start with the algebraic multiplication. We are asked to find the product of the following example. Let's start with the first example. X plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Okay? X plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. That is the first example. Now, I want you to pay attention. If you want to find the product of this algebraic, the first step is that you are going to multiply the second bracket by the first element in the first bracket. This is bracket 1, okay? This is bracket 2. Are you paying attention? Now, to take the product of this algebraic, you have to multiply the first element by all the elements in the second bracket. Are you getting it? All the entities in the second bracket. Look at this. This is the first element. Let me just call it element x. So x will first multiply x. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because this x is part of the elements in the second bracket. Are you getting it? Then after that, x will still multiply 3. Do you understand? So let's start. X times x, that is what? X squared. So I'm going to have x squared. Are you getting it? Then x multiplied by 3. That is what? Plus 3x, because the sign before 3 is what? A positive sign. That is plus 3x. So I'm going to have plus 3 plus 3x. Okay? Now, for the second part, these two will multiply. We still multiply all the entity, all the elements in the second bracket. Please, I want you to pay attention. Look at this. This x will first multiply every element inside the second bracket. Then these two also will multiply every element in the second bracket. Then we are going to sum up the like terms. That is how to find the product of an algebraic expression. Okay, look at this. X squared plus 3x. That is when I multiply the first element in the first bracket by all the elements in the second bracket. That is x times x, x squared. X times 3, that is plus 3x. Then now, plus 2 multiplied by x. That is what? Positive 2x. So I'm going to have positive 2x. Then plus 2 multiplied by 3. That is what? Positive 6. So I'm going to have positive 6. Do you understand? Okay. Now, is there any like terms among the product that we take? There is. 2x and 3x and 2x are like terms. Okay. So I'm going to have x squared plus 3x plus 2x. That is what? 5x. So I'm going to have plus 5x plus 6. So the product of x plus 2 and x plus 3 is what? X squared plus 5x plus 6. Let's have another the second work example. We are asked to take the product of 2x and x minus 1. 2x plus 4, and x minus 1. So this is correct if you get this. Now I want to do something. Pause this video. Attempt this. When you are done, then play the video, then check whether your answer is correct. Do you understand? That is how to learn. Okay. Now let's proceed. Don't forget the step. The step is that I'm going to first multiply all this the second bracket by the first element in the first bracket. Okay. What is the first element in the first bracket? The first element is what? 2x. That is, the first part is 2x. Okay. So 2x multiplied by x, that is what? 2x squared. Do you understand? 2x multiplied by x, that is 2x squared. It is not 2x plus x. So if you wrote 3x, you are automatically wrong. Okay? 2x multiplied by x, that is what? 2x squared. Now, the second part is that The next step is that I'm still going to use this 2x to multiply 1. Why? Because the rule states that when you are taking algebraic multiplication, the first part of the first bracket will multiply all the entity in the second bracket, and then after that we are going to use the second part of the first bracket. That is, if the first bracket have the second part. If it doesn't have, then we have no need of that. But this is the first part, this is the second part. So 2x will first multiply all the elements inside this bracket, and that's what I did. 2x multiplied by x, that is what? 2x squared. 2x multiplied by 1, that is what? Minus 2x, because the sign before this one is what? A negative sign. Do you understand? And if you take the product of a positive number and a negative number, you're going to get a negative number. Now, I want to put this down. Plus times minus is what? Minus. Okay? Minus times plus is what? Minus. Okay? Minus times minus is what? Positive. Then positive times positive, that is what? Positive. Do you understand? It is important that you note this rule, okay? I want you to note this rule. Positive times negative, negative. Negative times positive, negative. Negative times negative, positive. Then positive times positive is what? Positive. Okay? Now look. 2x multiplied by x, that is 2x squared. 2x multiplied by minus 1, that is what? Negative 2x. Okay? Because the sign before this 2x is what? A positive sign. And the sign before minus 1 is what? Negative sign. And we know that from this rule, positive times negative, that is positive 2x times negative 1, it will give me what? Negative. You understand? So negative 2x, that is how I got negative 2x. Do you understand? Okay, now let's proceed. Having done the first part, let's proceed to the second part. The second part of this first bracket will still multiply all the entity inside the second bracket. Are you getting it? I mean, the second part of this first bracket will still multiply all the entity in the second bracket. So I'm going to have 4 multiplied by x. Okay, that is what? Look at this. The sign before 4 is what? Positive. The sign before x here is what? Invisible positive. Though it's not important that we write it. You can see they didn't put a positive sign there, but we know that when the sign before this 2x is positive, you understand? So when you see a number that is written like this, the sign before these two is what? Positive. 3 positive. If you have minus 4, that is what? Negative. Okay, you understand? So the sign before this 4 is positive. The sign before this x is also what? Positive. You understand? So positive x multiplied by positive x. Positive 4 multiplied by positive x, that is what? Positive 4x. You understand? So I'm going to have positive 4x. Do you understand? Then this 4 will still multiply this minus 1. Do you understand? So I'm going to have plus 4 multiplied by minus 1. And according to this law, positive multiplied by negative, that will give me negative. So positive 4 multiplied by negative 1, that is what? Negative 4. You understand? So I'm going to have negative 4. Okay? So now look at this. Is there any like term in this expression? Yes, there is. Like term simply means adding the term that looks similar. You understand? Adding the term that are similar. That's it. So for this, I'm going to have minus 2x and plus 4x because they have the same power of x. You understand? X is power 1 here, and x is also what? Power 1. You understand? So I'm going to have 2x squared, negative 2x plus positive 2x. I mean, negative 2x plus 4x. What's the answer? That is what? Positive 2x. So I'm going to have positive 2x minus 4. So the product of this is what? 2x squared plus 2x minus 4. Do you understand? So let's proceed to the third example. Okay, we are asked to take the product of x plus 1, x plus 2 and x plus 3. You know what I want you to do now? Pause this video again, then attempt it. When you are done, play the video to check whether your answer is correct. That's how to learn, okay? When I solve the first question on this channel, we want to get a better understanding of every concept that I am teaching you on this channel. I want you to do something. Every time I solve for the first example, the next example that follows, pause the video before you watch the solvings for that example. Pause the video first, then attempt it. When you are done, play the video to check whether your solving is correct. You understand? Okay, now let's proceed. Look at this. We are asked to take the product of these three. I want you to pay attention here, okay? What I'm going to do first is that I'm going to take 2. I'm going to take the first 2. This is first bracket, this is second bracket, okay? I'm going to take the first bracket and the second bracket and then take the product. When I'm done, then I'm going to multiply my answers by this third bracket. Do you understand? So I'm going to take the product of this first bracket and the second bracket. So I'm going to have x plus 1. X plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. Do you understand? So let's first take the product of these two. Don't forget, we are still going to use the same step. We are going to use the first part of this bracket 1, the first bracket, to multiply all the elements in the second bracket. You understand? The first element in this bracket is x. You understand? So I'm going to use x to multiply all the elements in bracket 2. You understand? So let's go. For this x, we multiply this. So I'm going to have x multiplied by x. That is x squared. X squared. Then followed by x multiplied by plus 2. Positive x multiplied by positive 2. That is what? Positive 2x. Do you understand? So the next step is that I'm going to use the second part of this bracket to multiply all the elements in the second bracket. You understand? So I'm going to have positive 1 multiplied by x. That is what? X. That is positive x. It's supposed to be positive 1x, but positive 1x is also the same thing as what? Positive x. You understand? Because invisible one, the coefficient of this x is what? Invisible, which is 1. You understand? So let's proceed. This one will also multiply these two. You understand? So I'm going to have positive 1 multiplied by positive 2. So I'm going to have positive 2. Do you understand? Because 2 times 1 is what? 2. 1 times 2 is what? 2. You understand? So now the next step is that I'm going to add it. X squared plus 2x plus x. That is what? Plus 3x plus 2. Do you understand? So now that is the first part. We have taken the product of this. The product of this and this is what? X squared plus 3x plus 2. Now I'm going to multiply this product by x plus 3. Do you understand? So let's go. For this I'm going to have x plus 3 multiplied by x squared plus 3x plus 2. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed. We have gotten to this point. What are we going to do? We are still going to use the same approach, okay? The first step is that this is bracket 1 and this is bracket 2. You understand? And the rule states that we are going to use the first element in bracket 1 to multiply all the elements in bracket 2. Are you getting it? So let's go. For this, I'm going to have x. What happened to this marker? X multiplied by x. That is what? Oh, x multiplied x raised to the power of 2. According to the law of indices. That is why it is very, very important that you followed our class, okay? There are some class that we have done on indices. According to the law of indices, if you have x raised to the power of x multiplied by x squared, what's the answer? You know, this x is raised to the power of invisible 1. You understand? So x raised to the power of 1 is also the same thing as x. Okay? So now, if you want to take the product of this x, I'm going to have x raised to the power of 1 plus 2, which is what? X raised to the power of 3. Do you understand? So that is one of the basic law of indices. That is the product law. Now let's proceed. This x multiply x squared, that is what? X raised to the power of 3. This x multiply 3x, that is what? Plus 3x raised to the power of 2. Please, are you paid? Do you understand what I'm doing? Eh? The first step is that I use this x to multiply x squared. I got this. The next step is that I use this same x to multiply plus positive 3x. Positive x multiply positive 3x. That is what? Positive 3x squared. Okay? Now let's proceed. This same x, it will still multiply 2. Because the law that we are using is that the first part of the bracket will multiply all the elements in the second bracket. Are you getting it? So we have multiplied 2 of the elements in the second bracket. The next element there is what? 2. So positive x multiply positive 2. That is what? Positive 2x. Do you understand? So I'm going to have positive 2x. Please, do you understand? Okay, let's proceed. The second part is what? Positive 3. The second part of the first bracket is what? Positive 3. So we are still going to proceed with the same approach. Positive 3 multiplied by x squared. That is what? Positive 3x squared. So I'm going to have positive 3x squared. Positive 3 multiplied positive 3x. That is what? Positive 9x. Abi? Because 3 multiplied 3 is what? 9. And 9 multiplied by x is what? 9x. You understand? So I'm going to have positive 9x. So for this, I'm going to have this. Then the next one is that this 3 is also going to multiply 2. Do you understand? So 3 multiply 2, that is what? 6. So plus 6. Okay? Now, let us collect like term. You can see, this is x raised to the power of 3. Is there any parameters here? Is there any element here that is raised to the power of 3? There is none. So I'm going to have x raised to the power of 3 plus. Now look at this. I have 3x. I have x squared. I have positive 3x squared here. And I have another positive 3x squared here. So I can add this and this together because they have the same power of x. You understand? So 3x squared plus 3x squared, that is what? 6x squared. 6x squared. Don't add their power, please. Don't add their power. We only add power when we are taking the product, okay? Don't add power when you are adding, when you are taking the addition, okay? We only add the power when we are taking the product, okay? So let's proceed. 3x squared plus 3x squared, that is what? 6x squared. Then I'm left with what? 2x and 9x. 2x plus 9x, that is what? Plus 11, positive 11x. Positive 11x. Then the last term here is what? 6. Okay? That is plus 6. Because we didn't have any constant. You understand? To add 6 with. So 6 will stand alone. Okay? That is plus 6. So we are taking the product of this bracket. You understand? This is the first bracket, this is the second bracket, and this is the third bracket. You can see how it is simple. Okay, let's look at more work example on algebraic multiplication. I want you to attempt this by yourself, okay? When you are done, then check the solution, okay? Let's go. Let's start with the first one. The first one is 2x, not x, 2x plus 6 multiplied by 4x squared plus 1, okay? 2x multiply 4x squared. This is the rule. This will multiply this, it will also multiply this, okay? And this also will multiply this, it will also multiply this. By so doing, you are already done with half of the problem, okay? So 2x multiply 4x squared, that is 8x raised to the power of 3. 8x raised to the power of 3, that is 8x cubed. Please, I want to watch our video on laws of indices. Look at this. 2x multiplied by 4x squared. 2 multiplied by 4, 8. X multiplied by x squared, that is what? X raised to the power of 3. Because you might not understand how I got this. That's how I got it. Okay? So let's proceed. 2x multiplied by 4x squared, that is 8x raised to the power of 3. 2x multiplied by 1 plus 1, that is positive 2x, positive 2x. Then 6 multiplied by what? 4x squared, that is 24x squared. Do you understand? So positive 24x squared. 6 multiplied by 1, that is positive 6, because according to the rules that I wrote earlier, positive times positive, positive, negative times positive, negative, positive times negative, negative, negative times negative, positive. You understand? So let's proceed. Is there anything that is there any like term? There is none. So I'm going to rearrange the equation according to the power of x. You understand? So I'm going to have 8x squared, 8x raised to the power of 3 plus 24x squared, 24x squared plus 2x plus 6. You understand? So this is the final answer. If you got this right, clap for yourself. Okay, let's proceed to the second example. We have x squared plus 2, that is x squared plus 2 multiplied by 6x. Now look, this 6x will multiply all the elements inside the bracket. Okay, so 6x multiplied by x squared, that is what? 6x raised to the power of 3. 6x multiplied by 2, that is positive 12x. So I'm going to have positive 12x. Okay, that's the final answer to the second question. Now, if you got this right, clap for yourself. Okay, let's proceed to the third one. X squared plus 3x squared plus x minus 1 multiplied by 3x. We have x raised to the power of 4 plus 3x squared plus x minus 1 multiplied by 3x. Okay, no matter the position of this 3x, if it is at the front of this bracket, you are still going to take the product, whether at the back or at the front. You understand? You are still going to take the product. Okay, immediately you see bracket, that means every element outside the bracket is multiplying the element inside the bracket. Do you understand? Okay, for example, if I have this, if I have this 3x plus 1 into bracket 4 plus 1, I'm not going to use all these elements to multiply. Okay, let me say I have 4 plus x. Okay, 4 plus x. You understand? I'm not going to use all these elements to multiply the elements in the bracket. Why? Because there is no bracket. As soon as I have bracket like this, I can proceed to multiply both. But I didn't have any bracket. You understand? I didn't have any bracket. So it's only this one that will multiply this. You understand? So I just it's important that you note that. Okay, so let's proceed with our example. Now let's multiply this 3x multiplied by x raised to the power of 4, that is 3x raised to the power of 5. 3x raised to the power of 5. Okay, 3x is just as if I'm doing this. Okay, 3x multiplied by 3x squared, that is 9x raised to the power of 3. Okay, plus 9x raised to the power of 3. Okay, now multiply this 3x by x, that is what? Positive 3x raised to the power of 2. Then multiply this 3x by 1. Okay, that is negative 3x. Please, do you understand how I got this? The first part is that I multiply this by this. I got the first term. X raised to the power of 3x multiplied x raised to the power of 4. It gave me 3x raised to the power of 5. That is how I got the first term. The second term, 3x multiplied 3x raised to the power of 2. I got this. This multiplied this. I got this. 3x multiplied minus 1. I get minus 3x. Okay, let's proceed. Is there any term that I can add together? There is none. So the final answer is this is the final answer, because the power are different. Okay, the power of x is the power of x are different. Okay, now let's proceed to the division of algebraic.
To watch our class on algebraic division, you can check the link in the description of this video, okay? And also, I'd like you to engage this video by liking and subscribing. Always like and subscribe to tell the algorithm that this video is worthy of being watched. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.